Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
At Amazon, we're pretty good at getting things done. We're pretty good at solving problems. COVID-19 is the biggest challenge we've had to face. But challenges are what motivate us. Like flying masks to our employees around the world. We're doing everything we can to get you what you need, and doing everything we can to keep our people safe. I'm former Navy pilot Sarah Rhodes, and I'm proud to lead our Amazon Air network.
What is happening today, everybody? Welcome to 12 Ounce Sports, and welcome to Glenn's Dynamic Sports Corner on 12 Ounce Sports. And I am your host, Glenn Kaplan. I hope you all are having a wonderful week so far, and it's gone by very fast. Welcome to the 136th show today. And we're going to be commercial free for the next 55 minutes to about a little bit under an hour or so. We have a lot of topics to discuss today, and this is going to be fun. And ladies and gentlemen, I cannot wait to get started. So without further ado, before I actually do, let me say this. Use 12 Ounce Sports, all caps, with deposit bonus up to $1,000 for MyBookie. Let's start with the Brooklyn Nets and James Harden being traded to Brooklyn. And I did not think it was going to really happen. Then James Harden sent signals in his press conferences and messages like, I don't want to be here anymore. But here's the thing why I think the Brooklyn Nets made this deal. And I agree with every sports show that I was watching this morning. You think the Brooklyn Nets would have traded for James Harden if they truly believed that Kyrie Irving was coming back? Now let's think about this for a minute. Kyrie Irving has been out for the last few days, whatever's going on with him mentally wise. And who in the high seat knows if he's going to return? I personally don't think he's coming back. Because he's not coming back, this forced the pressure of the Brooklyn Nets front office to get a trade done. And James Harden and Kevin Durant were once teammates before with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And they went to an NBA Finals appearance along with Russell Westbrook and Serge Ibaka, Kendrick Perkins in 2012, lost Miami Heat, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, 5 games. And I know James Harden's out of shape. I get it. But at least he showed up. At least he was still scoring and assisting. Yeah, you could question his effort. He showed up. He wasn't pulling a Kyrie Irving. Yeah, I guess you kind of say he was because he didn't want to report at first, but he did report because he played and now we got traded. And today, their roster starting 5, forget Kyrie Irving. He's not coming back. They're going to either terminate his contract or they're going to retire. This is the only reason why they traded for James Harden. They get Kyrie back, great. Brooklyn Nets fans should not count on him coming back at all. That is the number one thing that's going to happen. It's going to be James Harden and Kevin Durant, and then it's going to be the rest of that roster. So you got James Harden, Bruce Brown, Kevin Durant, Jeff Green, and DeAndre Jordan is probably as your starting 5. From here on out. Actually, excuse me, probably will be not DeAndre Jordan. Will probably be Bruce Brown, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Joe Harris, and Jeff Green. That's what it'll be. That's what I think the starting five will be. DeAndre Jordan comes off the bench. Nicholas Claxton comes off the bench. Landry Shamet comes off the bench. You lose depth because you traded Jared Allen, Torian Prince, and Karis LeVert and Ronnie Kulich as well, but you got what you got, and that's what you have for right now. And you also have Chris Chioza. So the entire trade speculation was that the Brooklyn Nets acquired James Harden. They just acquired him. Cleveland Cavaliers acquired Jared Allen and Torian Prince. They're going to be moving off of Andre Drummond because Allen's, 22? They got a core of Cedi Osman, Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, Isaac Okoro, Kevin Porter Jr. General Manager Kobe Altman deserves a ton of credit for it. Along with Jared Allen, you got Torian Prince. So I'm curious to see when Jared Allen makes his debut with Cleveland along with Torian Prince. And then Indiana acquires Karis LeVert in the second-round pick. Houston acquires Victor Oladipo, Dante Exum, Rondas Kuruc, 3 Brooklyn first-round picks, 2022, 2024, and 2026. 1 Milwaukee first-rounder. That was actually Cavaliers. That pick went from Milwaukee to Cleveland, and now it's to Houston. 2022 unprotected, and 4 Brooklyn first-round swaps in 2021, 2023, 2025, and 2027. So you could say it's like the Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett trade all over again. But let's be real, I do not think that actually is the case. I don't think it is. As Kevin Durant's obvious, he's one of the best players in the NBA. James Harden's one of the best players in the NBA. It's not like James Harden's aging. They didn't trade for an aging James Harden. James Harden still got 3 or 4 good years left at least. So it's not like they're trading for an aging Kevin Garnett or an aging Paul Pierce. That's what it was about. Yeah, they won a playoff series or 2, but they didn't win the championship. So, moving on from this Kyrie Irving, James Harden saga, I would like to, first of all, speaking of saying hello to a good friend, with Kevin Durant and James Harden coming back, I would like to say hello to a good friend of mine right now, sitting right next to me this morning. What do we have here on my show today? Who's this guest that I have? Oh, it's this Philadelphia Eagles hat and this trash bag that's sitting right next to me, because I would like to say hello to that good friend and good guest that's going to be sitting right by me for the rest of the show. I just didn't tell you that I had this old friend of me by me today. And it's been staying in this garbage bag ever since the 133rd show. We're ranting about the Philadelphia Eagles, and here we are once again. It's nice to say hello to good pals once in a while that you haven't seen in such a long time and need to catch up, right? So now I'm going to go catch up with this old friend. And what do we need to catch up on today? Oh! Doug Peterson gets fired from the Philadelphia Eagles head coaching job. Isn't that something? You know the phrase, karma's the B word? Yes, indeed. This is what happens when you decide to play your own politics and mess teams over for intentionally keeping them out of the playoffs. And you just hand the team the playoff spot. This is what you deserve. And I couldn't have been more happier for another organization, a classless organization like the Philadelphia Eagles. Couldn't happen to a better organization. And no, I'm not going to apologize for saying that. I do feel sorry for Doug Peterson losing his job, but I don't feel sorry for that Eagles organization messing things up. And now no one wants that job because you got a hungry rich general manager, Harry Roseman, and owner, and Jeffrey Lurie. You don't know what you got to do with that Carson Wentz contract situation. You don't know what to do with Jalen Hurts. Who wants to coach that mess? Harry Roseman is a terrible general manager, and I got a text message from an Eagles fan who was absolutely displeased that Doug Peterson was let go and they kept the general manager. Where have I seen this before? Oh, wait a minute. It happened with my team, the New York Giants, when they got rid of Tom Coughlin, but they kept general manager Jerry Reese. And look at how that set them back. I would like to give a round of applause for the Philadelphia Eagles today because they've set themselves back and they're going to be in the NFC East least basement probably for the next 5 years. That's what happened to the New York Giants. Yeah, I know they made the playoffs the 1 year, but then they've been in the basement until this year. So congratulations, Philadelphia. It couldn't happen to a better franchise to be in the basement. I'll just be sipping, even though I don't drink. Maybe I need to grab a margarita or a White Claw or a beer or something just to celebrate. Just to celebrate that they'll be in mediocrity and basement in the NFC East for the next 5 years. One less opponent for the New York Giants to have to worry about. And I'm not feeling sorry this morning. I'm just overly joy that the Philadelphia Eagles once again slip up. And you know what's gonna happen from now on. I'm gonna be like Stephen A. Smith when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. Anytime I feel to see the Philadelphia Eagles lose, it's gonna be absolutely my joy and my laughter to come on this show and just be like that. And I don't give a bleeping rip what y'all think. Too dang bad. Because no filter Glenn is going to be back stronger than ever. Because this is what it's going to be. When next season comes for the NFL, I'm going to be relentless every time the Eagles lose. More joy in that than when I see the Giants win. Although I love to see the Giants back in the playoffs next year. Just love every second of it. It's great to catch up with an old friend like this garbage bag. And I don't give a two bleeping rips what Eagles fans think of me. I just deep down inside, I'm just thinking to myself, ha 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 ha. Real funny. Yeah, I don't really give two bleeping rips what you think. Knowing that you're the entire worst fan base in the entire NFL, thinking that Doug Peterson win one Super Bowl, you're going to become the next New England Patriots, you're out of your job. No, that's Bill Belichick, who is still the best coach in the NFL, has 6 Super Bowls. Doug Peterson has 1. And I think he'll have success wherever he goes. Now he doesn't have to deal with puppets as management, and I think there's more of a Roseman Lurie problem than a Doug Peterson problem. And yeah, probably the organization's like, oh, we probably chose Carson Wentz over Doug Peterson, which I probably get that relationship was more than fractured. And that's like boyfriend and girlfriend where you just like can't be with each other anymore. It's like the relationship's traumatized. You can't deal with it anymore. But there is nothing that I like more this morning. And all the Giants fans and whoever else laughing at the Philadelphia Eagles situation. And to the Philadelphia Reporter that thinks the Philadelphia Eagles had the brightest future and that the New York Giants had the worst future rather than the Washington football team and the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC East, you're nothing but a bunch of clowns and it's nothing but a bunch of buffoonery. That's what describes the city. It's not Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let's just get that out of the way. And no, I have no harsh feelings. There's probably going to be a friend of mine that I text later today, and she's probably going to say to me or something to the regards of, oh, you really do not like them, do you? Yeah, I told her about the thing where I came on this show with the garbage hat and the garbage bag and the whole other 9 yards. But I'm telling you, it's probably going to be some that kind of laughter later, or whoever else I talk about that with, because I'm telling you something right now. There is nothing more joy that I love seeing today than seeing this utter nonsense. And I'm telling you something, the Eagles will be in the bottom of the NFL for the next few years. Because it's going to be nothing more but glory and joy. As the old phrase says, you see those shirts, I root for 2 teams? Well, let me just say this. I root for 2 teams. The New York Giants and whoever beats the Philadelphia Eagles. How's that sound? Because all you fans can laugh at me all you want. Give me all the hate mail. Just don't be silly and utterly ridiculous about it. But if you want to laugh at me, go ahead. But let me just say this. Washington fans and Dallas fans don't give me any problems. I actually unite with that. It's those Philly fans that are like, oh, this, oh, that, oh, da-da-da. Please. And speaking of Philadelphia, I'm done with this. You actually got one good team going for you, and that's the Flyers, who defeated the Pittsburgh Penguins 6-3 yesterday on opening night, first game of the NHL season. Now that's a team that's good, Rod, even though you haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1975. Now this team's very deep. I just think I didn't pick them in first place because of that high adrenaline motion with Philadelphia. But they're very good. It's just a matter you could get it done in the playoffs. That's what my narrative all year is going to be on the year of the Flyers. They'll be fine in the regular season. The narrative, as it always is with Claude Giroux and the Flyers, can they get it done in the playoffs? And I'm going to stand by it all year. As I was happy that hockey was back, even though Pittsburgh Penguins lost. There were some positives I liked out of that game. Their offense showed up. I know Malkin was invincible. You had Sidney Crosby. You had that nice one-handed goal on the power play. Miscue by Carter Hart. I get it. But that defense, that general manager Jim Rutherford said that he fixed, Mike Matheson, I hate to say it. I know it's one game. We all overreact to one game. But this is a shorter season, 56 games compared to the 82. Mike Matheson, there was tape that I saw this morning that his offensive skill set will be there. The problem with Matheson is that he's not very good defensively, which is going to bring John Moreno down. You mean to tell me that Yusuf Rico and Chad Burrito are that bad that they can't crack the lineup? But what are these people saying about Cody Ceci? Jack Johnson 2.0. I actually thought Ceci actually wasn't bad yesterday. The problem with the Penguins yesterday was that third pair defenseman, which Rutherford clearly said he fixed, and it ain't fixed. And Moreno cannot be playing on the bottom three with Matheson. John Moreno needs to be with Elias Pettersson on the second pairing unit. And Dumoulin and Letang were actually pretty good. I don't think they were bad at all. And the power play looks more structured under Todd Reederin, but the penalty kill looks worse with Mike Vellucci compared to Jacques Martin. But give credit to the Flyers where it's due with that power play. And they're raving about Joe Farabee in Philadelphia this morning. And I thought he played pretty well. They're very deep. Claude Giroux's not going to be the reason why they win. It's because of the talent and depth that the Flyers possess. Carter Hart's a very good goalie. Even Provorov in the back end. You have very good players on this Flyers team. Very good players. They'll play again tomorrow night. You got to make some tweaks. You know what they say, improve from game 1 to game 2. And you got to have these shortened series this year like baseball, 2-game sets. And the Penguins got to win tomorrow, or then you're in a must-win situation on a Sunday afternoon against Washington Capitals, puck drop at noon on NBC. And then they'll play Washington again on Tuesday. And then the schedule will kind of ease up for them a little bit afterwards. So in this 6-3 win for Philly over Pittsburgh, let's see. First period, Mark Janikowski, that third line was tremendous for Pittsburgh. 5-12 in the game, assisted by Brandon Tatum and Jeremy McCann. 2 goals in the Flyers' first period, 15-11. James Van Riemsdyk, assisted by Eric Gustafsson, Joe Farabee on the power play. And then with 8 seconds remaining in the first period, Nolan Patrick on the power play, assisted by Eric Gustafsson, Joe Farabee. And if Nolan Patrick can finally get going, oh brother. Watch out for the Philadelphia Flyers. And maybe my emotions got to the best of me with that Flyer stuff. So, next, in the second period, Sidney Crosby, a power play goal and assisted 330-90 RPR sold the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's just going to probably play at a high level this year. Then it was unassisted. I told you to play by Carhart 339 into the second period on a power play goal by Sidney Crosby. And Sidney Crosby will probably be in the front running for MVP. And that's if he has to carry this team on his back, then Sidney Crosby has no choice but to be in the playoffs. Or be the MVP, excuse me. So then another late period goal given up by Pittsburgh. And Joe Farabee scored, and it was assisted by Kevin Hayes. So third period, Pittsburgh ties it at 3-3-0-1 in Brandon Tanev, assisted by Mark Janikowski. Tremendous shot by Tanev. Carter Hart had no chance. So what happened after it was 3-3? The Penguins' defense with Mike Matheson and John Moreno collapsed. Michael Raffle, assisted by Scott London and Nicholas Abkubel, 5:37 into the period. Then you have, let's give yourself a round of applause for Oscar Lindblom for coming back stronger than ever. He scored a goal at 12:14 into the third period, assisted by Travis Konechny, Sean Couturier. Then 20 seconds later, you have Kevin Hayes, assisted by Joel Farabee and Claude Giroux. Tristan Jarry, 19 saves, Pittsburgh Penguins. Carter Hart, 31 saves for the Philadelphia Flyers. I didn't even know Pittsburgh got off that many shots. Well, Jarry's got to be a little bit sharper, but it's a matter of time before he gets the treatment of Matt Murray from the fan base. We'll see how that turns out very quickly. Because Tristan Jarry, general manager for others, right? We picked you over Matt Murray because you're more durable than him. Let's see what happens. And then if Jarry's not the answer, and then you got to deal with Casey DeSmith. And then maybe you're like, oh, maybe our best days are behind us. Because if Tristan Jarry doesn't get the job done, then the Tristan Jarry experiment is a failure. And Carter Hart is going to be a very good goalie this year. And I wouldn't be surprised Carter Hart got the Vezina Trophy this year. All right. Other game recap. And then I will move on to my next segment. Chicago Blackhawks vs. Tampa Bay Lightning game recap. Tampa Bay raises the banner. You got no Nikita Kucherov to start the year. You know Nikita Kucherov's coming back for the playoffs. They did this because of salary cap reasons. Yeah, he's probably seriously hurt, but they had to maneuver the cap and had to make some sort of trades in order to make the roster what it is. The Tampa Bay Lightning did what I thought they were going to do last night. I predicted the score to be 6-1. It was 5-1, close enough. The Tampa Bay Lightning will steamroll everybody in that division during the regular season. The playoffs will be different because there's always some sort of fatigue come playoff time for defending Stanley Cup champions, and that's why I didn't pick them to be in the conference finals. But I am still going to hold my words here when it comes to the Lightning during the regular season when they steamroll everybody. Look, they are by far the best roster in that division even without Kucherov. You could probably still steamroll everybody without Stamkos. Probably could. And Stamkos, the captain, the RP of the Tampa Bay Lightning, is really, he had an injury last year. He dealt with it, and now he's back stronger than ever, maybe. He has a ring. One of the best players in the league when he's healthy. And Chicago's going to be one of the worst teams. Jonathan Toews, the captain of the Chicago Blackhawks. This is going to be bad. They might be in the running for the number 1 pick this year, and I'm not even joking. I'm going to say this on my show right now. And Cody Jansen, I wonder if you agree with me on this statement. Cody, I'm telling you this. So, Cody, here's my words for you. The Chicago Blackhawks will be worse than the Detroit Red Wings this year. And I'm wondering, on your next show for the World Hockey Report, Cody, I wonder if you and your partner on that show could decide to talk about my statement if you think that the Chicago Blackhawks are going to be worse than the Detroit Red Wings this season, which I truly believe might actually happen. So without further ado, in this 5-1 game recap with Tampa Bay over Chicago, I basically shut that game off after the first period because I'm like, yeah, I know what's going to happen. I decided to watch NBA, the Brooklyn Nets, New York Knicks afterwards. So Tampa Bay, Andre Palat, 10:39 power play goal assisted by Victor Edmonds, Steven Stamkos. Matthew Joseph, 16-18, assisted by Alex Killorn and Anthony Cirelli. And then another goal in the first period. and it was assisted by Austin Cerniak and Alex Horn. Second period, Tampa Bay 9:56 power play goal. Steven Stamkos, assisted by Braden Point and Victor Hedman. Third period, Tampa Bay Braden Point 6:45 mark, assisted by Steven Stamkos and Mikhail Sergachev. Chicago's lone goal, power play goal 16:36 mark. Dylan Strome, assisted by Andrew Shaw and Adam Boquist. So, Malcolm Subban, 28 saves for Chicago. They're not very good defensively. And Andrei Vasilevsky, 22 saves for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So, use 12-ounce sports, all caps, for deposit bonus up to $1,000 for my bookie. So, ladies and gentlemen, I really thought that I totally forgot that I was doing this segment today until I looked on my show script. I would have posted on my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram, and my Snapchat page yesterday. But because I did not do it on my Snapchat, my Instagram, my Twitter, or my Facebook page, I'm going to share with you now what my next segment is. Here is my first NFL mock draft of the year in the new 2021 calendar year. And it's going to start from 1 through 24 today. And then moving forward, as the next teams get knocked out of the playoffs, I will add them to this mock draft list. So the players I use on my mock draft today will not be used for picks 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32. So I will not be using those. But then after the Super Bowl is over and I'm done with all of that, then I will do a whole new mock draft leading up to the NFL draft. So, and here is my introduction to this. Yes, with the college football season being officially over, and congratulations, University of Alabama, for winning the national championship over Ohio State by a final score of 52-24. And this is my first NFL mock draft of the season. I will only have 1 through 24 at the moment. As I said, then as more teams get eliminated, I will have more teams to the same mock draft. And after the Super Bowl is over, there will be a fresh and also brand new one. So without further ado, here we go. The number 1 pick in my mock draft at the moment, Jacksonville Jaguars select Trevor Lawrence, quarterback Clemson. So it appears the rumors are true that Urban Meyer is going to take probably the next head coaching job for Jacksonville, even though has health issues and he was the Ohio State Buckeyes head coach. He goes to the NFL. Albert Breer compared this to an NFL network. Jimmy Johnson leaving the University of Miami for taking a Jacksonville Jaguars head coach job. Never been to a Super Bowl. Urban Meyer won 2 national championships at the University of Florida and one national championship with Ohio State back in 2015. So now, Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence, quarterback Clemson. I feel like that's a perfect match made in heaven. That's going to be, I think, very good for both teams in the long run. The number 2 pick, the New York Jets select Devonta Smith, wide receiver, Alabama. Well, Devonta Smith gets Sam Darnold a weapon. On the outside, you'll have Devonta Smith, Denzel Mims, and lastly, Jamison Crowder in the slot, which I think would be very good and very positive for the New York Jets moving forward. The number 3 pick, the Miami Dolphins from the Houston Texans trade select Jamar Chase, wide receiver, LSU. So what does Tua Tagovailoa need on the outside? A wide receiver. I would say draft Devonta Smith. He's available at number 3, but in this mock draft that I have, he's off the board at number 2 to New York Jets. I made a joke on my Twitter and Facebook the other day. The Miami Dolphins should not allow Devonta Smith to leave the stadium, and hopefully he stayed there, but he's obviously going to be looked at by other teams in the NFL draft. And I'm very curious to see how this all winds up going out moving forward. Next up, because some people actually think that Jamar Chase is a better wide receiver than Justin Jefferson, but some people also think that Chase is a better receiver than Devonta Smith. So we'll see how that goes. Number 4, The Atlanta Falcons select Zach Wilson, quarterback, BYU. So here's why they'll take Zach Wilson. Although Matt Ryan's getting older, you don't have to start Wilson right away. Even though you have questions about the Falcons organization, for the most part, I don't think they're run that badly. You drafted your future franchise quarterback. He could be your backup. Matt Schaub retired. You could have Zach Wilson learn for a year or two under Matt Ryan. Then he could take over. And then after the next year, Matt Ryan could get traded. You could have an Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes-like situation. And then also Julio Jones is getting older. So Zach Wilson, Calvin Ridley, maybe the future you can maybe draft another wide receiver in the later rounds for Zach Wilson out of BYU. Because here's the thing. Zach Wilson makes very good throws. He's accurate. He could scramble out of the pocket. He could run with the football. He's very mobile. You could do some read options with him. You just need another good running back because I do think he would need a semblance of a running game in Atlanta with the Atlanta Falcons. Number 5. The Cincinnati Bengals select Penei Sewell, offensive tackle, Oregon. I think Sewell's going to be the player that slips in this draft, and he's going to fall into the laps at the Bengals at number 5. Joe Burrow needs someone to protect him on the blind side. So this is the perfect fit here for Cincinnati. Go with Penei Sewell, the best offensive tackle prospect in a very long time. Number 6, the Philadelphia Eagles. Boo, trash can select Patrick Surtain, cornerback, Alabama. Maybe the best cornerback prospect out of Alabama since Marlon Humphrey of the Baltimore Ravens. He could be a shutdown corner and force fumbles. Number 7, the Detroit Lions select Caleb Farley, cornerback, Virginia Tech. Another corner, go on the other side, Jeffrey Okudah. And that would be something very, very interesting to keep an eye on. Now you got your corner set, and especially if you're gonna hire Robert Saleh as your next head coach, who is a defensive genius guru with the San Francisco 49ers, you're going to draft defense, make them a defensive-minded team, and maybe bring a Kyle Shanahan-like offense to Detroit and change the culture along. And Saleh and the new general manager are going to have to find a way to get along. So keep an eye out on that one. So Robert Saleh and the new general manager, that will keep an eye on. Number 8. Carolina Panthers select Kwity Paye, defensive line, Michigan. So, even though I think they need to draft offense, the Panthers want to build an identity, I feel like, on the defensive side of the ball. That's what I feel like Matt Rule's going to be. Win the line of scrimmage. They had a couple good rookies in Artie Burns, Derek Brown, Jeremy Chin, Yetur Gross-Matos get another help on the defensive line. And that's what basically happened. And this is why the Washington football team basically did that with the last their 4 first-round picks. It was Jaron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, and Chase Young. And now that's what the Carolina Panthers may do here. Number 9, Denver Broncos select Rashawn Slater, offensive lineman, Northwestern. You get an offensive lineman to protect Drew Lock. They hired a new general manager. John Elway stepped aside with that. Number 10, the Dallas Cowboys select Micah Parsons, inside linebacker, Penn State. You get your linebacker. They need help on the defensive side of the ball. They got rid of Mike Nolan, the defense coordinator, and Mike McCarthy hired Dan Quinn as the new defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, he was an okay head coach with the Atlanta Falcons. They should have won that Super Bowl, but it kind of tailed and spinned off. So he's now the new defensive coordinator for Dallas, and this was a very good hire by Dallas. And now you get your inside linebacker to replace Sean Lee, who's getting older. Lehighton Vander Esch is also older. Well, he's not older, but he's injury prone. You also have Jalen Smith. Get yourself some help on defense. Number 11 in the New York Giants, Kyle Pitts, tight end, Florida. even though you need wide receiver help, they'll address that free agency. I don't know if they trust Jalen Waddle's injury with Smith and Chase off the board. Kyle Pitts is an intriguing prospect. He is the best tight end prospect since Rob Gronkowski. Kyle Pitts can catch the football, block. He can do a lot of things, line up on the outside. He's got great hands. So let me tell you this. Kyle Pitts is the only reason why Kyle Trask is a relevant NFL quarterback prospect. Without the play of Kyle Pitts, there is no Kyle Trask. You saw what happened. You want to know why Florida gave Alabama a game? Kyle Pitts. Kyle Trask was able to throw the ball to him. Why do you think Florida stunk it up against Oklahoma? Oh, Kyle Pitts didn't play. Same thing happened against LSU. That's why. So Kyle Pitts, he makes quarterbacks better. And that would be a best friend to Daniel Jones. With like Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, like Joe Judge with Bill Belichick in New England with the Patriots. But we'll see what happens. Number 12, the San Francisco 49ers select Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State. Now, Kyle Shanahan gets his quarterback, and then there's speculation they're going to move off Jimmy Garoppolo. So this could be a very good choice here for San Francisco, and Fields lands in the perfect situation. An offensive-minded head coach with Kyle Shanahan. You can run the football. Justin Fields doesn't have to do everything in this offense. You have an elite defense to go along with it. Number 13, the Los Angeles Chargers, Gregory Rousseau. Edge rusher, Miami, Florida, gets some help. I don't know if they'll resign Melvin Ingram, so you get some help on the defensive side of the ball. Next pick, number 14, the Minnesota Vikings select Jalen Waddle, wide receiver, Alabama. You hit the home run on Justin Jefferson. You know what? Go get yourselves Jalen Waddle. A seriously damaging 1-2 wide receiver punch for the Minnesota Vikings. Adam Thielen's getting older. You will not be able to double team Justin Jefferson and Jalen Waddle. That would be a nightmare. And then you could make Cousins' life easier. You could throw screens to Waddle and make him go out in space. That would be a nightmare for opposing defenses. I mean, it really would be. You want to beat the Green Bay Packers in the NFC North? Go get Jalen Waddle. Go get yourselves a number 2 receiver other than Justin Jefferson. The number 15th pick to the New England Patriots. They select Trey Lance, quarterback, North Dakota State. Belichick gets his guy. They're going to move off of Cam Newton. Josh McDaniels can mold him into a solid NFL quarterback. A very raw and intriguing prospect. The best quarterback out of North Dakota State since Carson Wentz. And there's also Easton Stick, who's also on the Los Angeles Chargers. They all won national titles at North Dakota State. Number 16 in the Arizona Cardinals. They select Elijah Vera Tucker, offensive lineman, USC. The Arizona Cardinals need offensive line help to protect Kyler Murray. 2. Order to be successful. Down the road, you were on the verge of making the playoffs but missed. You need some offense lineup. You need to protect Murray because of guys like Nick Bosa, Aaron Donald, and Carlos Dunlap in that division with Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Seattle. The 17th pick, the Las Vegas Raiders select Jalen Phillips, defensive lineman, Miami, Florida. They need help on defense. They hired a new defense coordinator, so Las Vegas gets its more help on defense along with Max Crosby on that defensive side of the football. So next up, the Miami Dolphins on number 18 with their own selection select Rashad Bateman, wide receiver, Minnesota. I think they'll clean up, get outside help for Tua Tagovailoa here in the first round. That's where I think they'll go. So if you had guys like Jamar Chase and Rashad Bateman, you're set at wide receiver to attack Tagovailoa. Now, the front office, ownership, and head coach Brian Flores are sold on Tua Tagovailoa being the starting quarterback next year. But there are reports coming out of Miami that some of the players are not thrilled that Tua Tagovailoa is the starting quarterback next year for the Miami Dolphins. Simply put, they're not thrilled whatsoever. Number 19, the Washington football team select Rondale Moore, wide receiver, Purdue. They need help on the outside. Don't worry about a quarterback in the first round. They've been busts. Dwayne Haskins was most recently. Go forward with Alex Smith or Taylor Heineke next year. Draft some wide receiver help like Rondale Moore from Purdue. And some people think that this is the best. This wide receiver class might be better than last year's. And Rondale Moore, the wide receiver from Purdue, will help its cause. Number 20. To the Chicago Bears, they select Kadarius Toney, wide receiver, Florida. So Kadarius Toney, wide receiver from Florida. I think Allen Robinson leaves. You drafted Darnell Mooney last year. He's a solid receiver. They have Anthony Miller. You'll lose Allen Robinson to second free agency. If you do lose Allen Robinson to second free agency, I think the New York Giants or the Baltimore Ravens will be in play here for him. And then this is why you would have to take the receiver from Florida in Kadarius Toney. Number 21 in the Indianapolis Colts, Alex Leatherwood, offensive lineman, Alabama. With Anthony Cadazzaro retiring, they'll take a left tackle to replace him, and then they got to figure out their quarterback situation as well moving forward. Number 22, to the Tennessee Titans, they select Patrick Jones II, edge rusher, Pittsburgh. They need pass rushers, and defensive help everywhere they can get it. Number 23, the New York Jets. From the Seattle Seahawks, they select Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, linebacker, Notre Dame. Get another linebacker, C.J. Mosley. Get him go alongside with him. And then, when you go alongside with him, this will be very interesting. An Owusu-Koramoah and a Mosley linebacker will be very interesting because I think the Jets are going to improve in the NFL draft this year. They have a lot of picks. General manager Joey Douglas, did very well last year. And the new head coach needs to work well alongside with him. And if Joe Douglas does work well alongside with the new head coach, they will be just fine. And there's potentially that Doug Peterson may be the next head coach for the New York Jets. Number 24, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Najee Harris, running back, Alabama. They don't have a 3-down running back. James Conner, Anthony McFarland, Benny Snell Jr. I'm sorry, they just don't fit the bill. And neither does Jalen Samuels. Najee Harris could catch passes out of the backfield and run with it. Najee Harris would be the best running back in Pittsburgh since Le'Veon Bell and Jerome Bettis. So moving on from my NFL mock draft, NFL Divisional Round Preview. My record last week was 4-2 on Wildcard Weekend. For some strange reason, I felt like I was going to go 6-0 after I went 3-0 with my picks on Saturday, and I went just 1-2 on Sunday. The divisional round is going to be extremely fun. Let's start with the AFC. Number 6 seed Cleveland Browns versus the number 1 seed, the Kansas City Chiefs. This game will kick off at 3:05 p.m. Eastern on Sunday afternoon on CBS, so here we go. Baker Mayfield will slice Kansas City's defense in the secondary, their defense, and Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt will run through the Chiefs' defense. Because Kansas City, the 26th ranked rushing defense in the entire NFL. Translation, the Browns could be able to dominate the line of scrimmage, at least in that phase. And they mauled the Steelers up front last weekend. So I think the Browns are going to score some points. What worries me is that the Cleveland Browns put way too much energy into that football game to knock out the divisional rival, the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was a treat from Steelers fans, and I couldn't have been more happier for Cleveland Browns fans last week. as I said. However, did they use too much energy in the football game last weekend against the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road since their first playoff win since 1994 against New England Patriots? I think Jarvis Landry and Austin Hooper will be solid in the receiving game for the Cleveland Browns. Now, however, is Patrick Mahomes going to outduel Baker Mayfield with Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins, Tyreek Hill, and others? And the X factor in this game, Le'Veon Bell. Because, I don't know, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be dressing up this weekend. So I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs to take down the Cleveland Browns by a final score of 45-42. Number 5 seed Baltimore Ravens versus the number 2 seed, the Buffalo Bills. This game will kick off at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Saturday night on NBC. There is potentially snow in the forecast, and Lamar Jackson is really potentially looking forward to playing the snow because he's never done it before. Oh, Marlon Humphrey, he's another player that's looking forward to playing snow with the rest of the Ravens as well, because it also benefit J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. If there is no snow on the ground, really, the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen will air it out. But the thing with Josh Allen is this. The reason why Buffalo drafted him was for snow games like this, aired out through the wind and the snow. He played at Wyoming. Big body, big frame, tough, hard-nosed, blue-collar kind of football player. But the reason why this snow game worries me is the Bills had no threat of a run game. Now, you could say a couple weeks ago when the Tennessee Titans played the Green Bay Packers in snow, you're like, I was thinking about this morning, I'm like, Aaron Rodgers did do well in the snow with Devontae Adams. But the two caveats were, number one, the Tennessee secondary is awful. And number two, at least the Packers won the line of scrimmage and have a resemblance of running game with Aaron Jones, who rushed over 100 yards in that game, in that football game. And then A.J. Dillon, who actually made some noise in that football game as well. Because Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, then you have A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. And here, what do you got? Zach Moss, who's out for the year? What, Devin Singletary, Devonta Freeman? No. That ain't going to get it done against this ferocious Baltimore Ravens defensive front. And the secondary is going to use a lot of defensive backs. And I'm telling you this matchup right now, that's going to happen. Stephon Diggs is going to be taken out by Marlon Humphrey and Deshaun Elliott. I'm telling you that right now. Cole Beasley and Gabriel Davis and Dawson Knox are going to have to win this game. Because Stephon Diggs is not going to win this game for them this week. As good as Stephon Diggs is, and he probably will get some catches, he's not going to be a big-time threat. And the Ravens could control that line of scrimmage. So here's the deal. If it is serious snow, and if we're talking like 2 inches or more inches on the ground, if there's serious snow on the field, when game time comes, here's the deal. Because I'm going by weather here because I think the weather is going to matter in who wins. So, if it is severely snowing, if there's at least 2 or more inches on the ground, I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens by a final score of 21-20. But if it's not really severely snowing and there's really nothing on the ground, I'll take the Buffalo Bills to beat the Baltimore Ravens by a final score of 28-24. So with no snow, but the Buffalo Bills will beat the Baltimore Ravens over a final score of 28-24. But there's seriously snow. The Baltimore Ravens will take down the Buffalo Bills by a final score of 21-20. Now on to the NFC. Number 6 seed Los Angeles Rams versus the number 1 seed, the Green Bay Packers. This game will kick off at 4:35 p.m. Eastern on Saturday afternoon on Fox. And here's the thing. The Los Angeles Rams are going to have to win this game with their defense. Translation, I don't think they can do it. This is an offensive league now. Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey can carry you so much, and I don't even know Jared Goff's really 100%. Maybe they'll have to go back to John Wolford. Maybe they don't have to go back to him this week. Cam Akers will be an X factor big time this week, especially in the running game. If Cam Akers can get it going this week for Los Angeles, then they have a puncher's chance. If the defense is on the field for too long, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Robert Tonyan, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, Marquise Valdez-Scantling, Alan Lazard will have to carve them up, and they'll do it too much. But the Green Bay Packers are coming off a bye. So the last time they had a number 1 seed, they lost to the New York Giants, and you know the story on. When the New York Giants went on to win the Super Bowl that year against New England Patriots, they had Eli Manning, Hakeem Nicks, Victor Cruz, Mario Manningham, Ahmad Bradshaw, and Brandon Jacobs. And that defense wasn't that great, but they played well enough. Justin Tuck goes to Umanura, and Jason Pierre-Paul, that was also on that team. And the Green Bay Packers better be careful because Aaron Donald, Fox, Jalen Ramsey, they're all coming. And if Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, and Fox, and Leonard Floyd can all dictate the terms, the Rams have a good chance. And it's going to depend what kind of mastermind game plan defensive coordinator Brandon Staley is going to come up with this time around. The Green Bay Packers are going to win this game because of Matt LaFleur's bunch. He's going to be ready to go. They will take down the Los Angeles Rams and Sean McVay's bunch by a final score of 24-14. Number 5 seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the number 2 seed the New Orleans Saints. So this game will kick off at 6:40 p.m. Eastern on Sunday evening night. This will be a big-time matchup between Tom Brady and Drew Brees. So this is the 3rd time this season that these two players are playing against each other. And New Orleans swept the season series against Tampa Bay. The team that has won the season series 2-0, and the team that needs to get the 3rd win has won that matchup, the 3rd matchup, 65% of the time, which is actually a very good number in those circumstances. Actually is, because that tells me usually most of the time that team is better than the other one. So I think what the difference in this game is going to be. Here's what I think. I think Tom Brady and Drew Brees are going to ball out. That's what I think is going to be fantastic. I know Brady's had his 2 worst games this year against the Saints, and Brees played probably his best 2 games against the Buccaneers this year. I'm not worried about Antonio Brown or Mike Evans or Chris Godwin, Cameron Brady or Rob Gronkowski or Scotty Miller showing up for Tampa Bay. And I'm not worried about Emmanuel Sanders, Little Jordan Humphrey, Michael Thomas, Deontay Harris, Jared Cook, or Adam Trotman showing up for New Orleans. Here's where the difference in this game is going to be, and it's not going to be the line of scrimmage. Which running back helps out his team more? Alvin Kamara or Leonard Fournette? And you know the answer to that question. It's Alvin Kamara. He catches passes out of backfield, but Fournette did as well last week. Kamara, I think, is more explosive than Fournette, but I do not trust Ronald Jones second. I don't even know if he's going to play this week, and I don't even think Latavius Murray is going to be either. So they're both going to be used as 3-down running backs. So that's going to be very, very interesting to keep an eye on. And that game is going to be very fun. I think it's going to be the best game of the weekend. So, will Bruce Arians outcoach Sean Payton, or will it be vice versa? And I guarantee you, the Buccaneers remember what happened the last time they played them, and they completely got embarrassed on their home field, and the Saints celebrated in Tampa Bay's locker room, the visitors' locker room that was. And I remember Jameis Winston eating W's the last time in the locker room, and it was just like so cold. But the New Orleans Saints will get the better of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this football game, and they will win this football game by a final score of 31-28. I'm just looking forward to this game, as though the New Orleans Saints will win this football game over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by a final score of 31-28. So now here are my bold predictions for divisional round. Number 1, Lamar Jackson has more rushing yards than passing yards, and that might be the case, especially if it snows. Number 2, Josh Allen gets picked off 3 times against the Baltimore Ravens defense. Number 3, Antonio Brown will have the most receiving yards of any wide receiver this weekend. The Tom Brady Antonio Brown connection lately has been on point for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 4, the Los Angeles Rams don't score a touchdown against Green Bay Packers. So why do I say the Rams do not score a touchdown against the Packers? The reason why they do not do it is simply for the sole reason that Jared Goff, I don't think is really all that healthy. I just don't think, in all honesty, he really is at all. Now the Rams, as I say, they're going to have to score a defensive touchdown to have any chance to win this game. And I do like the fact that they're going to probably be in it for at least the first 3 quarters. But the 4th quarter, truth be told, they're just going to have to rely on a couple of things. And number 5, Nick Chubb rushes for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nick Chubb is going to be the most important player on the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. And Nick Chubb, the RP and soul of the Cleveland Browns backfield, along with Kareem Hunt, it's going to be something special to watch in this backfield on Sunday. And then you could set up play action with Baker Mayfield, amongst other things. All right, that's all I got for today. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of time here. Thanks for tuning in, Glenn's Dynamic Sports Corner. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend as well here, though, nonetheless. I will be back on the air at the same time on Monday to go over recaps from the NFL divisional round, more head coaching, hirings, firings, NHL, NBA game recaps. Use promo code 12ounce sports. All caps with deposit bonus up to $1,000 from my bookie.